fear, anger, solitude, lust, depression, and suicide. They're the very inner traits that create the monster within your mind. Desperation, loneliness, and grief create the ghost of your past memories. These are the inner demons that took over me, and that I face every day. They're inside of all of us, but mine became stronger, sentient, and supernatural due to the beast within my DNA. I'm not all human. I'm part wolf, and I didn't choose to be. This story is about how I became this hybrid, how I lived with it, and how I developed these inner demons. When I was born, my birth parents couldn't afford to raise me, so with their luck, they found a hidden underground DNA testing facility and sold me to them for money. The facility tested genetic mutation, combining human and animal genes to hopefully evolve our species. They ran an experiment that could combine my DNA with a wolf's, and it was successful. However, the FBI found the facility and raided it. One of the assistants left me in a box in a nearby alleyway, and a young couple found me. They've always wanted kids, but the girl was infertile, and so the couple decided they wanted to raise me as their own. So they went through legal hell to adopt me, since I was a subject from the raided facility, but thankfully, they succeeded, and I had a loving family. I grew up in St. Louis, Missouri, and most people at my school and in the city got used to me and accepted me. Life had a new beginning for me, but sadly though, when I was 15, my parents struggled to make ends meet, and we had to move. They found better job opportunities in Salt Lake City, Utah, and so we had to leave our home, friends, and extended family behind so we could make more money. Thankfully, my online best friend, Nick, goes to the school I'm being enrolled into, and he knew about my story, so I wasn't entirely going to be alone. Though I knew I could never truly fit in, and I had to hide who I was. But I wasn't the only new kid, though. I made a new friend, named Juno, who accepted me for who I was. But the bullies at my school didn't take too kindly to my vibe. They noticed something was off about me, and discovered the truth. But Nick and Juno always had my back, and so I tried to just ignore it. Eventually, after me and Juno went to the school dance, we gave things a try and started dating, and things were looking up. She was the first one. We dated for a few months, but it got rocky when the bullies intervened more afterwards. Juno noticed I was becoming more snappy because of them, and one day they started pushing me and hitting me, and I felt this sudden rush of anger like never before. A voice inside convinced me to let out my rage and fight back, and I did just that, and a fight broke out. Juno was embarrassed and scared from this, and the day after, she took a break from dating to think things through. I felt guilty, heartbroken, and scared of myself. I wanted to convince Juno to stay with me, and so, on the last day of school's talent show, I foolishly sang a song to her as an apology for the position I put her in, but I looked like a joke in front of everyone. They all laughed at me, and to everyone, I was just a clown. Time to myself went by, and it was a lonely first half of the summer, since Nick went out of town for 2 months. It didn't help that people from school were still harassing me online. All I had was this voice inside. It named itself the monster within. And while I was scared of it at first, I became accustomed to it. However, Juno came by and we worked things out. She appreciated that I loved her that much to put myself out there like that, and we got back together and spent the rest of the summer getting closer and more serious. It felt like we were unstoppable. No matter how much our enemies judged us and got in our way, how overworked or busy we were, or how many obstacles we faced, we were committed to our relationship and our world. But that was where things peaked, and unfortunately, it only went downhill from there. When school started up again, my parents found out very personal things about our relationship that alarmed them and forced us to break up. We were both heartbroken, but we stayed together though, and kept our relationship a secret. Throughout the next month, we had our own hiding spot at lunch, and still tried to go on secret dates when we could. But because we didn't have as much time together outside of school though, I became irritable. I craved her more and more, causing lust issues, which made her uncomfortable, and I tried to control myself. One day though, one of the bullies ratted us out to my parents when they came to pick me up, pretending to be an acquaintance of mine. My parents were furious, took all of my stuff away, and had the school separate me and Juno into different classes. I was furious and felt misunderstood. My parents claimed to be protecting me, but I felt oppressed, and I had so much anger built up. Not long after, Juno talked with me, and she felt like the relationship wasn't working anymore due to the circumstances, and she wanted to have quote-unquote a normal relationship. She was breaking up with me. I begged and pleaded for her to stay, but she made up her mind, and I got so angry that I blacked out. From what I was told happened, I lost control and grabbed her arm, eyes red, claws and fangs sticking out, and was towering over her, lashing out at her. She froze in fear and started crying, telling me that I was scaring her. I snapped back to my senses and realized what I had done. The monster took control in that moment, and after I realized this, I let her go and apologized. She called me a psycho and ran off. I broke down crying, repeating the words, "What have I done?" over and over. Nick was upset and disappointed in me, and he and Juno cut me off. And I felt like I lost everything. It felt like I was put into an eternal heartbreak. I became numb and had nothing to lose, and reluctantly gave in to the monster within. From here on out, these memories define a time where I thought I was nothing but a psycho, where I let my anger and lust take control, and I lost all sense of empathy, remorse, and clarity for anyone and anything. My name is Christian Wolfram, and these are my psychotic memories.